guys? Belligerent here, and today we're looking at a new game. I've been playing this for a few days now, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really digging it. I think it might be the next game that I kind of really dive into. There's been a couple I've been playing around with. I've done a video on at least one of them, Eternal Evolution. I was looking at what is that thing called? Ever Legion. We've been talking about this on my Discord some. Uh, but this was the one that really keeps kind of sticking with me. Is this? It's called Magical War. It's a really small game. Okay? It was just released February 20th, so it hasn't been out that long, and there have not been very many downloads yet. So I will caution you, if you see this video and you want to dive into it. I don't know what the life expectancy on a game that has such small download numbers, at least right now. Maybe we can change that. Come on over with me and we'll play it some. But let's jump in and let me show you what I'm kind of digging about this game, why it's the one that is keeping my attention at the moment. For the most part, it's kind of your typical gacha game. Your typical gacha champion collecting auto battler type game. So as we get in here, like one thing that I will just point out from the start, it's very overwhelming. I don't know what it is about these types of games where they think they have to clutter your screen with 800 ads trying to get you to buy stuff. The nice thing about this one is that it does collapse. You can collapse at least some of that stuff. But there's a lot going on. You can get past that though if it's a good game, right? Hopefully they clean it up at some point. Hopefully they kind of rethink their UI. Hopefully they rethink how much stuff they're cluttering the screen with. But it's a gacha game, and that's what it's there for. That's what it's meant to do, is just kind of shove it all in your face and hope that you buy something. But again, it's your typical game. We have the campaign mode here, okay, which is like this little board you move around, and then you go from level to level. You can kind of see the map here. This is a fairly new account. I mean, I've only been playing the game probably less than a week, maybe a week now. So none of my accounts are really that well developed. Okay. One of the things that I found neat here is it has this idle chest, which is not new by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. But it gives you a way to boost, like a different way to boost your idle rewards outside of just kind of, most games are your progress through the campaign, and that's how you progress your idle. But here we have this output bonus, and for example, right, if we come into here, you can assign your champions to boost this up. So you see, I just hit the quick. It kind of puts the best one in there. My hero blessing is now getting plus 5%. And so you can go through and you can do this in whatever order of these different resources that you want to build. I'm still building, again, this account, I'm still kind of building it up. But again, you can, I find it kind of neat that you can boost your idle rewards with your champions and not your progress, and that you can kind of pick which resources you're getting the most bang for. Okay, but we got this, and we'll get back to this in a second. Okay, we have your typical recruiting here. Lots of different recruits. This one actually has the friends recruits, which a lot of games have. Although if you followed me from Bloodline, we don't get any of those types of friend points. And it's got this is one of the games with the different factions. they're elements in this game, different elements. So kind of the rock paper scissors method of elements giving you an advantage. And here you can select a specific element to recruit for and try to recruit specifically for that. Hero crafting, which is pretty much just hero ascension. Although from that interface, it doesn't seem to work properly. You have to go into your hero section. You got the guild over here. You got Soul Link, which is, it's called different things in different games. This is essentially where it's going to take your top 6 champions and whatever level the lowest champion is, you can put other champions in here. So like if I put this guy in here, you see, even though I haven't put any resources into him, he is now level 35 because my lowest champion there, this old guy over here that you see me tapping on, he's level 35. That's the lowest level that I have. So it's a nice way for you to be able to build many different comps without needing all these resources for all these different champions. Okay. The tavern quests are just kind of like some expeditions that you can do. They have specific amount of time it takes. When you go in here, like you have to assign one of your champions to them. It's a good way to pick up some extra resources. We have kind of the traditional, the tower. Again, if you followed me from Bloodline, we don't have a lot of this. But if you're familiar with any of these other types of gacha games, this is all very typical stuff. The tower, where you just kind of go from floor to floor to floor, and it gets progressively harder. The ancient ruins is just kind of a place. The only one that I've unlocked is this adventure thing. I don't know if there's more stuff in the ruins that you can unlock, or if they're going to put more stuff in the future. I would assume so. But you can just kind of gain resources for building your champions right there. This is I like this feature a lot. It's called the Dismantle Furnace. So this first one, Hero Rebirth, that's not special because most games that I have played have this in some fashion, where you can essentially reset your champion. Okay. Now, I've seen other games where the reset is just in the champion interface, which was easier. But this one, you have to come here. It's not that big a deal. You come here, you hit the rebirth. I have not yet been charged diamonds, even though you see the diamond there showing you that there might be a cost. I don't know if it's after a certain level in the game. I don't know if it's after a certain hero level, if it starts charging you. But it does say you will get back 100% of upgrade materials and advanced materials. I don't know if that changes either. I don't know if after you get past a certain point, it starts giving you less. The little info button thing here doesn't work, so that's not going to tell me whether at some point it starts charging or at some point you get less than 100%. The one that the part of this that I really like, the hero dismissal thing, that's kind of, it turns crappy heroes into resources, that's all. But the hero degrade, okay? This also says 100% upgrade and advanced materials will be returned, okay? But this is, so if you ascend a hero, let me see, I'm going to switch accounts real quick, get into an account that has some upgraded heroes so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I jumped over into another account here. We're in that same screen, the hero degrade screen, and you see I have some heroes here that are ascended. So I can put that hero in here, and you see it's going to give me the original one back. You see me tapping on it over there. It's also going to give me, now these are kind of, they're ghosts in a sense. They're not giving you back the actual champions that you used. I'm assuming because it would be way too much database to keep track of what heroes you used for, however many heroes you're going to end up going in. But what it does is it gives you, see right here, it says fire, 5-star, super fodder. So essentially it's giving you the fodder you used back. It's just not a playable champion. So you can use that to ascend a different champion and all of your upgrade materials and everything that goes along with it. Okay. So you see here, oh, this one is actually giving me the champions back. That's interesting. So I guess at a certain point, it does keep track of what champions, because these ones are actual champions. It wasn't the ghosts. So I don't know why this one isn't doing it, and this one is. I can't answer that question. But yeah, okay. So it is actually giving you the champions you use to ascend these different champions. There might be a certain rank or level or something of champions that it doesn't, where it just gives you the ghosts. I'm not sure. But so you actually can, using a made up term here, unascend a champion. And I know from Bloodline, where probably most of my viewers, if not all of my viewers right now, are coming from, one of the early things that we tried to warn you about was don't ascend champions past, I think it was 5 stars, or you're going to be stuck with them, right? And there are so many, I heard it so many times where people said, I really wish that we could, roll it back well, in this game actually lets you roll it back, lets you unascend them or dismantle them and get your resources back, so you can ascend a champion that you find that might be better later on in the future. Okay, but let me show you what really has. Oh, it also has, you see this amusement park thing. It has this little, so this tower here, I'll jump in here real quick. It has, I know everybody has seen these advertisements. Like, you see these ads on the game and you open up the game and the game is never what it shows, right? How do I enter this thing? What the hell? Go, oh, challenge. Hit the challenge button. Right, so you take your, and it's essentially, it's a math game, right? So at 40 I can beat the 20s. Okay. And you can actually play the game that we've all seen, but half the time when you download the game, it's not actually part of the game. So you can literally play this at any time you want. There's no cost to it. And when you pass the level, I'm not going to do the whole game for this video, but when you pass the level, you actually get resources. Now, it's not a ton of resources. You see here, it's 10 diamonds per stage. I don't know if that gets increasingly greater or what. And then there's another one here, the dungeon, where you just kind of fall down those steps and you have to avoid the traps and stuff like that. But just something like, if you need a change of pace, right? It's not very impactful. It's not necessarily why you're playing the game, but what I like is that it's not forced upon you, and it's there if you're just like, I need something to kind of just break up the monotony for a minute, or I'm at the doctor's office waiting, and I don't want to, get involved in a big fight because maybe they call me in. So I'm just gonna play a little mini game. Like, the mini game, I like. It's a nice touch. But let's go in here. Let me show you what I really like. What I really like about this game is its combat system. Okay, so if we go in here, let me take a look. Okay, I'm just gonna remove all of my heroes so you can kind of see the board a little better. So we have this, it's not just 5 slots, it's not just 6 slots. Now, you can only use a max of 6 champions, but look at all these hexagons that we have here. All those places that you can put your champion, okay? And it's almost like a chess game. Because if we here, I'm just going to put this lineup up. It has this quick deploy over here that'll just, I think, just put your strongest champions in for you, which is kind of nice. It does have a quick battle. Like the boss levels, you can't quick battle, but every other stage, if you don't want to sit there and stare at the campaign, which is one of the things I hate most about these games, it has quick battle. So that's really nice. One thing they don't, or at least I haven't seen yet, that I think they need to add in the future is the auto continue, where you can just let it play through the levels. But at least we have the quick battle, so you can make it through levels fairly quickly. Okay, so we have so many different options as far as like how to put the champions on the board, the positioning on the board. I haven't even begun to dive into this. I may dive into this and find that it's like a kiddie pool as far as its depth, but there's at least the potential for a lot of different positioning tactics. But let me show you what makes this even more interesting. Okay, so if we jump into a match here real quick, and I'm going to put it on manual, okay, it will auto battle. So if you don't like what I'm about to show you, just understand that you can still auto battle just like probably any of the other games like this that you're used to. Okay, but you see here, like, whose turn is it? All right, it's his turn. And for some reason, instead of letting me grab him, oh, turn ended. So I gotta wait for my turn again. Hopefully they don't kill everything before I get there. So it is a turn-based battle system. So it's kind of more like a raid Shadow Legends, where it's turn-based as opposed to Eternal Evolution or Bloodline, where it's just the auto battle and they're just going. So it is turn-based. You can see up there at the top the different turns. But again, here's what makes this unique. So it's this champion's turn. You see the green underneath? I have these options where I can move. So each champion has a different, I guess, distance they can move. And then if we use, you see these, now they're red. So depending on which ability I'm going to use, determines where I can attack. Almost like chess, right? Bishops can only attack diagonally. The knights have to move in the L shape. Queens can move anywhere. So you can, like, there's at least potential for some really serious, in-depth strategy through the manual battle system, if you're into that. Like, if you're a chess player, if you like those kind of like strategy board game type things. Now again, I haven't gotten into it a lot. I'm more of an auto battle person, but the potential is there and it really intrigues me. And it almost makes the battle, if you're going to play it manually, it almost makes the combat system 3D in a way. Right? We're usually just about comp, maybe a little bit of positioning, but now you have to think about your actual positioning during the match. You get to change your positioning, but that also requires that you know all of these, the movement patterns of all of your enemies, because you can't move into a spot that's going to get you killed, but you won't know that you're doing that if you don't know all the moves, right? Like, you don't want to move your queen where it's going to get taken by a bishop, let's say, but if you don't know the movement patterns of the bishop, then how are you supposed to prevent that? So there is a lot of depth, surprisingly, a lot of depth, or at least depth potential to this combat system. Now, I don't know if it's just kind of a gimmicky thing. I don't know if it looks better than it ends up playing. Like I said, I am more of an auto battle person, but I definitely know that I'm going to dive into this manual battle system to see if we can really flesh it out and figure it out to a whole different level. And then what I want to do is I want to test it to see if you can actually outsmart the computer, so to speak. Like when you get stuck on a level in campaign that you can't pass with your team, no matter how many times you try, can you then put it on manual if you know the move set well enough and win with the skill of, like a chess game, right? Can you outplay the board as opposed to just being stronger than the board? I don't know. A lot of stuff to test there, but that's why this game of all of them has kind of my attention right now, because when I saw that was pretty cool. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. We're going to do more videos on this. It's called Magical War if you want to check it out. It's on the Play Store. I don't use Crapple products, so I don't know if it's on the iOS store. I think it is, but it's definitely in the Play Store. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. I'm Belligerent. Peace.